Yeah, I want to post this about these type of oil filters on it. Chevys, I think they're on there from like, they're definitely not 2001, or maybe it's 2001. It starts 2002, not 2000. But they go like on this cap right here, right there. That's your oil filter cap, and that's what it looks like underneath there. I want to tell you, I actually had an incident where it loosened up on me, and you know, I changed the oil, but let me tell you this, I changed the oil 8 months ago, and the oil was always staying full. And this last trip I took, it might have been getting loose a little bit at a time, but it wasn't leaking because the oil was always staying full. It came loose, and it came loose actually at the most perfect timing, because I was in traffic, stop and go at lights, and the oil light flickered at an idle, and as soon as I saw it flicker, I said, what the hell? Immediately 50 feet in front of me on the right hand side was one of those convenience stores with a gas station. I put like almost 4 quarts in it. I was like, holy shit, I must have only had like a quart left, and that was $6.50 a quart. Now, before you go hammering me on this crap, I've been changing my own oil on cars since for the last 43 years, and I got multiple cars. I've never had a drain plug or an oil filter come loose. I've had this car since 2009. It's 2003. I got it with 22,000 original miles on it. It was a government car. You know, it's hard. It's a compressed natural gas and regular fuel. They don't even make these anymore. You can actually put compressed natural gas in it. I'll show you what that is just for the hell of it. You can fill it up here with compressed natural gas. It's got the tank in the back there, like that. And it's unique, you know. It's also got your regular gas tank with 14 gallons. But not much trunk space. But you can see I still keep a lot of tools. There's my scanner, mil-spec light, air pump, tire pressure gauges, freaking Gorilla Tape jumper cables, and the toolbox. Good thing I had this toolbox with me. Well, let me explain. It must have came loose on this last trip I did, because I just checked the oil before and it was absolutely full. Now that's scary, because if I was driving down the freeway, I would have a blown motor. In this case, I don't think I did any damage at all, because of the extremely lucky circumstances. I saw the oil light flicker was at an idle. It was like going through stop and go, and it wasn't flickering, and all of a sudden it flickered one time, and I just pulled 50 feet into the thing and I filled it up. I just caught it, and I went another 10 miles and it was down 3/4 of a quart. And I said, I didn't know what was wrong at the time, you know, when I first filled it up. And then I looked around, I thought, you know, because these caps, you can actually crack them if you put them on too tight. And I thought I had a cracked cap. So I says, well, I know I got other stuff in there, but I don't have the tools to remove it. But when I looked carefully, when I wiped around it with a rag, I realized it was just leaking from being loose. So I had this wrench, and I was able to get it tight enough where it didn't leak, because I went another 60 miles, and after I topped it up again, no problem. Now, I suspect I actually didn't do anything wrong, because the specification on this is 18 foot-pounds, and you want to put some oil on these threads and on this gasket, so when you torque it down. Now this is an AC Delco filter, but I don't know what I did last time. I might have got a Supertech, because I got some wicks here, and I might have got a Supertech with the canister in Wally World. And I was looking online trying to find out, you know, if anybody had this problem, and I didn't really see. The only ones I saw had a problem like this, it happened immediately. But in my case, I changed this oil 8 months ago, 2,000 miles ago, and it was full the whole time. And I've been changing the oil on this car since I had it for the last 27,000 miles in 6 years. Not a real lot of miles, but it's something whereby it's never happened. It's always stayed full. So this surprised the shit out of me, and it got me wondering, you know, if you're driving down the freeway, blown motor. But, you know, when I looked on the net, they were like saying, oh, the tech at Walmart was doing this wrong. Or, you know, I'm not even picking on that, because I am suspecting, because I'm not a lightweight when I torque these things down. I didn't use a torque wrench, but I'm thinking, now this is an AC Delco, right? This one. But what I'm thinking is, there could have been a little imperfection someplace on a seam, like this one don't have it, and or maybe down here or something, or where I think it actually contacts on the top of the cap, or maybe the this gasket got crushed in a little more. The gasket was definitely on there, correct, and there was only one gasket and all that kind of garbage. I didn't do something stupid like that, and maybe, you know. Well, it lasted for 8 months before it came loose. But it could be that, you know, maybe the cap itself or the gasket itself, maybe it crushed down more and it caused it to lose some of the torque. Maybe the cap itself had a burr on it, and then as that burr got crushed down from being torqued on there for a while, it lost its torque. Because I think last time I got one of these deals. Now these are just the filter elements, but I might have got one with the cap. The filter elements usually come with the gasket, and I changed that. But I'm going to tell you, you know, from now on, I'm actually going to use a torque wrench on this, and I'm going to put grease on here. And I know some people are saying, oh, don't make it too tight. Well, you know what? I always put oil on there, motor oil, but I'm going to put some grease, a light coat of grease with the motor oil. Use a torque wrench. It's supposed to be 18 foot-pounds, which I'll use the inch-pounds wrench, which the equivalent of 18 foot-pounds is 216 inch-pounds. And what you do is you screw these on almost of the way by hand, and after that you can, you know, wiggle your extension through there with a little bit of a, wobble fitting on there, because the extension can't go straight down, and then you can put your torque wrench on her. I'm probably going to torque it, but in the meantime, I'm going to actually keep this thing in the car, because this thing I can actually get in here and put it right on there and torque it down. That's what I did. I'm going to keep this in the car. I'm going to keep this in the toolbox. It's a good thing I had that with me, because actually when I torqued this down a little bit more with this, I didn't get it fully tight, but I got it enough where it stopped the leak completely. And you know, this is almost like embarrassing, because, you know, this is like the simplest shit in the world. I've never had this happen. I've never had a filter come loose. I've never had a drain plug come loose on me in 43 years of doing this shit. I'm not a mechanic, but I've got multiple cars. And these things you got to watch, because if you torque them down too much, you can crack them. That's what I suspected. You know, maybe it was cracked, because I do torque it down pretty hard. I'm thinking there was a burr on that plastic or something. You know, the one, now it's gone. You know, now it's okay because I torqued it down again. But I do keep tools in with me. This car, I don't have enough room in the trunk because of that big compressed natural canister to put a lot of tools in here, but this tool is definitely going in here on the top. That's staying in there. And I keep these filters with me all the time in the trunk too. I don't like this, to tell you the truth. I don't like this design. The only thing I like about this car is that it's got compressed natural gas and regular gas that you can use in it. But I don't like this shit. And you know, the more I'm looking at this plastic computer bullshit, I mean, I don't know why they make this out of plastic, and they tell you be careful not to over torque it because you'll break it. And you know, I torque it down pretty hard because I used the proper wrench. And like I said, it was on there 8 months, and the oil was staying perfectly full. So, you know, if I was driving down a highway, I would have a blown motor maybe, or a damaged motor. Like it being as it may, I doubt I did any damage, because it was like, you know, it happened to be going through a town, and I figured the 45 or 50 miles prior to where I had to fill this oil up, it must have been where I was losing the oil, and I was only doing like You know, I might have been down a quart, then 2 quarts. Then I was coming through the town. I was basically, you know, doing 10 to 15 miles an hour idling. And as soon as I saw that oil light flicker, I said, oh, here's a place right there. You know, it was like 50 feet away. I mean, 50 feet, like, you know, 15 yards or something. Just pulled right up in there. I put 2 quarts in it. It still didn't show up. And I put 2 more quarts in it. It was like overfilled a little bit. And it went down about 3/4 of a quart in another 10 miles. And then I found where the leak was. So I extrapolated that. I lost all this oil on the last trip. Because I did check this oil. It was absolutely full not that long ago. And it's been full the entire 8 months. And months ago, about 2,000 miles ago, that I changed this oil. So there could be, you know, maybe you want to get AC Delco. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't this. Maybe it was, I don't know what it was. It's got me thinking, man. It's got me thinking. And I was looking on the internet for like, is there a similar problem? And usually when there was every time I saw a problem with this, it happened right away after the oil change. Somebody didn't tighten it down, but that's not the case here. I did this oil change 2,000 miles ago, 8 months ago, and it's been full the whole time. Weird. So, and I don't want to piss off, you know, because I don't think these filters are screwed up, actually, these Supertech filters. I like Wicks the best. You can see there's the Wicks, but I think I might have picked up a Supertech last time, and I think I changed this cap last time, and I'm wondering if there was some kind of, because, you know, I definitely did not freaking, yeah, I know I'm being lengthy on this, I definitely did not freaking, I'm not a lightweight when I torque these things down, and I definitely put oil on this shit. Actually, even when I put the metal canisters, oil filters, I put them by hand, tight, and then I take the wrench and I put them just a hair more, maybe like 1/8 of a turn. So they're on there good. I make sure, because I'm aware that, you know, there could always, I don't like them being that. I actually did torque this down pretty good. I'm thinking there might have been a defect on the plastic someplace, and then, you know, that defect got crushed in like a burr or something. Not on this one, but maybe the one I have put in there. Now it's, you know, that burr is crushed down. So that's something you might want to check for. And I think every time I check my oil, this wrench, you can see it fits right in here. You can just put, you know, maybe it's not the, you know, might want to use an extension if you're freaking loosening this up for, you know, oil change, but it fits right in here. It's right on there. It's just a little stubby, and it's got a 3/8 drive on one side and a 1/4 inch drive on the other side, and it's got, you know, it's nice and simple. You know, it's a, I don't know what the hell this is, but I got it at O'Reilly's Auto Parts because I figured, you know, keep this bitch on me. So just want to put this out here because, you know, maybe people have had this problem, like what I'm talking about, where they did an oil change and then many months later that came loose. That's creepy, man, because if you think you did it right, and I'm, like I said, I know I'm repeated it 12 times already, but there could have been a burr on this thing that, you know, the burr started crushing down after a while, and that lost the torque on this. So I'm going to check that. It's very easy to check. If you got this, it's very easy to check. Maybe check it a couple times after it's, you know, been used. So I was very, very lucky, though, the circumstances this happened on. But if I was cruising down a highway at 75 miles an hour and the oil pressure light came on, I mean, maybe that wouldn't have been a blown motor, but there could have been definitely some damage there, you know. But, you know, when you're idling and you see the oil light flicker the first time, and you're not really driving hard or nothing, and, you know, you just pull over immediately, I doubt it did any damage at all with, you know, especially with the high quality synthetic oil and shit that's in there. It had a pretty good film on there. So I want to put this out here because this has got me stumped thinking about it, and it's like, you know, You know, if I was some kind of novice, I'd be saying I'm stupid, but I'm not. It's like, why did this happen? Sometimes just shit happens, and it's really weird. And I'm not really going to blame myself on this, because I'm just glad I'm not a mechanic and doing this with customer cars, because this is freaking scary, man. I don't like this shit. And it's encouraging me to get an early 50s car with everything in it metal. I was looking online for these things. Are any of these made metal? No. They're all plastic. You know, I want one that's metal, so maybe I could torque it down beyond the 14 foot-pounds and not worry about cracking it. And, you know, if it's metal, it's never going to wear out. It's never going to crack. Why did they make this plastic? I don't know. It's just jerks. It's like everything else. So, anyway, I'm not taking blame for this shit, even though, you know, and that's why if I was a mechanic, I was thinking to myself, some customer would have never done what I did and caught it just in time. They would have blown the engine, and I've been over there freaking rebuilding a motor because of some shit like this. And you know, that's one reason I'm definitely glad I am not a mechanic. I'll tell you that right now. It's just a profession. I like doing this shit, but these new cars, they can go blow me, man. Plastic and computers suck.